In Chicago, you know that all sports rock. The Bears, Hawks, Bulls, Cubs, and Sox. Pick your favorite, you can choose. As long as the Packers lose. For everything you need to know, it's Bill Swerski Sports Talk Chicago. Bill Swerski Sports Talk Chicago.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Bill Swerski Sports Talk Chicago. This is your hosts, Alex and Sean. On this episode, we are going to be talking about tons of Bears moves in free agency. We're going to be talking about the Cubs and White Sox, World Baseball Classic, a little Blackhawks, maybe a little Bulls. But first, I'd like to thank our sponsor, the Rockford Ice Hogs. If you're not familiar with the Rockford Ice Hogs, they're the AHL minor league affiliate of the Chicago Blackhawks. What does that mean for you? You get to see the stars of tomorrow today at family-friendly, affordable prices. So head on over to icehogs.com, get yourself a hat, shirt, jersey, tickets, and more. Tell them Swerski Sports sent you. Alex, my friend, how are you doing today?
Good. Overall, can't complain, even though I hate the sight of snow.
If I never see snow ever again, it'll be too soon.
Ha, ha, ha. Well, the good news is it's going to melt very, very soon.
But the bad news is that we'll get more snow. Winter
Yeah.
won't let us go.
Well, you know what else is really funny is we're seeing the snow, and we're 10 days away from baseball starting, like the regular season starting. The Cubs start against the Nationals at Wrigley Field on the 26th.
Which sucks. Why would you ever start a season in Chicago?
No, I know. I mean, what was it last year? Well, technically they started in Japan, obviously, but they had some early series in like warmer climates. Like they played early on in Arizona. I think that was a 4-game series. I mean, obviously you're going to have to come and deal with cold weather, but the 26th of March, that is so early.
That's early, and I know eventually you can't wait until June to start Chicago. But maybe after tax day, maybe April 15th, give us a couple weeks to get back into the swing of things and the weather.
I guess. I mean, I know you're going to have to deal with it at some point because April can be pretty bad, but I mean, at the very least, not the first week of April or the last weeks of March. I mean, that's just too early. Now, I know that opening day forecast isn't going to be too bad, but there's going to be some really cold games the first few weeks of the season.
I still bring up Philadelphia is always like more mild than Chicago, but when I lived in Philly, a bunch of my friends were like, "Oh, let's go to the game." And it was early on in the season, and it was nice during the day. Like not like warm or something, but like it was in the 50s. And it was a nighttime game. By the time nighttime hit, it started snowing and it was like 20 something degrees, and everybody just had like spring jackets on, and it was so cold, and I was like, "Oh my God." And then there was a big fight that broke out between Mets fans and Phillies fans, and I was like, "I just want to go home. I'm so cold. I just want to go home."
Yeah, there was a year, it was 2008, and it was the first series of the year against the Brewers. And, that was, I want to say that was not even like the first week of the season, might have started towards the end of the first week of April, going into the second week. I remember I was on spring break, but me, my mom, and my dad went. And this was when my brother was in college, so he wasn't with us because we used to go as a big family. But my brother was at college at that point; he wasn't home for summer break yet. And that game, it was the second game of the year. It wasn't the opener. It was the second game of the year. It was like on a Saturday. And it was so cold, like so cold. And we had really nice box seats behind home plate, like within the first like 10 rows or whatever. And if you all know Wrigley Field, you know that in an afternoon, when the sun is behind the grandstand, you're in the shade, even when you're down in the lower level. So add the cold weather on top of being in the shade. It was like going to a Bears game almost. It felt like.
Yeah, a friend of mine, um, I took her to her first baseball game, and we went, and it was really nice that day. It was like low 70s, and it was like an afternoon game, and I'm like, you know what? Bring a coat, and we brought a blanket. She's like, I don't think we're gonna need it. I was like, trust me.
You're gonna
And
need it.
we were sitting in the bleachers, and we had jackets on. We had the blanket over the two of us, and all these other like, you know, like hoochie mamas were out there in like little dresses and tank tops, and they were freezing.
Oof.
And we were toasty and warm with long pants and jackets. And I mean, it wasn't cold, but like, you know how it just gets uncomfortable after you're out there for a few hours. And we had the blanket and it was toasty warm.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, that one story I told you about the game we were at, we had to go to the Cubs gift shop and buy some blankets. It was that cold.
My,
So,
my brother-in-law. So they live like we live in the city. He lives like my sister live in Orland Park. And he's like, "Oh, I got tickets for the game. You want to go?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, well, "Why don't you come up here and then we'll take like an Uber to the game." So we get there and then I'm like, "Do you want a sweatshirt?" Because he just had a t-shirt. He's like, "No, I'm good." We get down there before he's a White Sox fan too. And we get down there and he's like, before we even walk in, he goes, "All right, I'm cold." And he bought $100 sweatshirt. And I'm like, "Bro, you could have just borrowed a sweatshirt."
well, now he's got a new sweatshirt for his collection.
Yeah, $100 sweatshirt. So
Yeah, well, you know, speaking of the cold weather, right now there's still some flurries falling. And I look outside and I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be a pretty Bears heavy show with everything that's gone on. And I'm looking outside, I'm like, man, I feel like we should be recapping a game still right now, or even talking about the playoffs or the Super Bowl. Not that, oh, hey, baseball regular season is going to be starting in 10 days.
it is so ridiculous that we're like a week and a half from opening day and I had to shovel snow this morning. So stupid.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Mother Nature's stupid.
I know, especially here in the Midwest.
Right. I was like I work with a lot of people from all over the place and on calls this morning somebody was like, "Oh my God, it's brutal in Arizona today. It's going to get up to 100." I'm like, "I shoveled snow this morning."
Yeah, really. I was watching this short on YouTube and it was from Arizona and it was like the polar opposite of what we're talking about here, like unbelievable heat. And usually when you're in Arizona, you're like, okay, it's dry heat. You don't have like the humidity of the summer heat here in Chicago with all the moisture in the air. It's very dry down there, but it was this one particular instance where it was like so hot where it's like, "Oh, hey, we can fry eggs on sidewalks. That plastic 7-Eleven sign in front of the store is melting. Uh the rubber on the bottom of my shoes is melting on the blacktop." That kind of heat. And it's funny because when you go down there and it's in the winter and you think about what cold to them is there or what cold to them is even so in Florida, 55 degrees is like shorts, barbecue, topless weather for us, but that's really cold for people down south. It's just really funny how you could just go a few states down and the sheer difference of what they're used to weather-wise versus here is so, so different. And then you look at baseball and you say, okay, you would ideally like to open your season either in these warmer climates or the cities that have the domes, the retractable roofs or whatever, either or. But I mean, here in Chicago, if there's one good thing about this early baseball in Chicago, particularly for the Cubs, and I guess you could say the Sox too, but more so for the Cubs because of the wind patterns at the ballpark. If you're worried about some of the fly balls that Shota and Tyone are giving up, at least they're going to be pitching the first few months where the fly balls die at the warning track, right? That's a positive, I guess.
That would be hilarious if like Wrigley had a a retractable dome, and they were like, "Oh shit!" Showed us pitching, and the wind's blowing out. Close the dome. Close the dome. Close. Uh, all right. Should we start a little Bears?
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about there.
So let's start with who's out.
Yeah.
Um, Joe Tryon Shoyinka out. Ryan Bates out. Andrew Billings out. Amen Agbanbamiga out. Jonathan Owens out. Jaquan Brisker out. Um,
Kevin Byard.
CJ Gardner Johnson out. Uh, Durham Smythe out. Chris Williams out. Dominique Robinson out. Jonathan Owens out. Alameda Zacchaeus out. Tremaine Edmonds out. Nashawn Wright out. Jaquan Brisker out. Kevin Byard out. A
All
lot of
via free
outs.
agency. Yeah, all via obviously DJ Moore being the trade, but yes. So I have a first question for you. The list we just went over. How many of those do you think we're gonna dearly miss? Like
None of
not
them.
none of them.
Not a one. You know, and people are like, "Oh my God, Ryan Poles is so stupid. They could have matched that Nashawn Wright deal. They could have,
Mm,
yeah, they could have. They didn't want to.
right.
Nashawn Wright had a, if you look, had a lot of turnovers, made some big plays, but look at the QB rating against him. It was like over 100.
It wasn't good. I mean, he was getting cooked on a lot of plays. And don't get me wrong, those turnovers were great and a huge reason why the Bears won last year. But I mean, look, overall, everybody and their mother knew that this defense needed an overhaul. We can talk over and over about how, yeah, we're losing a lot of turnovers from last year. But what else did we say? That you couldn't sustain those type of turnovers at that rate. And we know what kind of DC Dennis Allen is. Now, I will say, I wanted Kevin Byard back. He wanted to go play with Mike Vrabel again. Fine. CJ Gardner Johnson, I would have taken back as just kind of a swing versatile guy because Dennis Allen likes that. Fine. But am I going to say that it's devastating that they didn't come back? No. The challenge is filling these spots. You know that you're going to fill spots with players that align more with your system. You did not have enough speed, period. You were too lumbering and too slow.
The one name on that list that I will say we will miss is the the locker room slash human being that's Big Bill, Andrew Billings. Great locker room dude, great human being. That we will miss, but he did not play very well last year.
No, no, he didn't. Because he signed with the Commanders, correct?
Cardinals, I thought.
Cardinals, okay.
But uh, we're gonna replace those people, all of those people. So I I just I don't know what like why people are freaking out. They're acting like this hasn't happened before. All of those dudes, they were not they were not this regime's dudes. They're
No, they weren't.
replacing they played last year with guys that were holdovers. Now they're building in the mold that they want. So,
It was the Eberflus defense.
yeah. Um so we now have some linebackers that our defensive coordinator wants. So we've got speed and Devin Bush. DeMarco Jackson played really well last year. Kobe Bryant at safety is going to be significantly faster than any safety that we had on our roster last
I
year.
thought that was their golden signing of the offseason.
Yep, I would agree. Um, and you brought in some guys to play defensive tackle, but none of them were like such studs that is precluding you from drafting. I still think the defensive line is where you're going to bring impact players.
Right. And
Um,
I mean, at least they brought in some run stoppers, at least guys who specialize in run stopping. So it's a start.
um, you're going to get a one year closer to being in prime Austin Booker, and who played well at the end of last year. Uh, I know you hate him, but the hope is that Dio Odengbo becomes the dude that they signed. We spent a second round pick on Shamar Turner. Now think of all the other first and second rounders that in the last draft that played significant role in the Bears doing well. Hopefully Shamar Turner is just another one of those guys that comes in and does something for us.
Yeah, that would be nice. And by the way, it's not personal against Dio, and I know you know that, but oh my God, that contract makes me nauseous.
Yeah, I
Just
mean, you know
saying.
what? If he doesn't perform, they can dump him after this year.
Yeah.
So I mean, you start to look at this roster, and it's starting to fill itself out. So your wide receivers, I still think you're a little thin there, but you your Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, Jade Walker. After that, you've got Khalif Raymond, who's really he's going to fill the Olamide Zacchaeus role.
Well, that's a nice signing, and it makes a lot of sense because Khalif Raymond played with Ben Johnson in Detroit. And not only is he your Olamide Zacchaeus replacement, he's also your Devin Duvernay replacement.
Yes, correct. Then you've also got J.P. Richardson, Maurice Alexander, and then the one that I don't think we're going to get anything from, but just kind of exciting because of the era I grew up in is Kadir Ishmael, who that last name might be familiar. His uncle was Rocket Ishmael,
No kidding.
who played for Notre Dame, and his dad is Kadre Ismail, who played in the NFL as well.
Yeah,
Um,
strong
so
football genes.
so I was like, fast genes. So they brought him in. So I'm like, okay, that'd be interesting. It'd be nice to see. I bet he's fast. Um, Offensive line. Oh, they brought in um what's the guy's name from Cleveland? Uh uh uh, uh
The former first rounder.
yes. They brought in Jedrick Wills Jr. And people are like, oh my God, that guy stunk, blah blah blah. He came off a bad injury. Former first rounder. And guess what? You know what he's here for? To be competition for Braxton Jones and Theo Benedict. They're not going to hand Braxton Jones that job. It's going to be
Oh, we got to talk about that too,
so they brought back Braxton Jones.
which we thought had a better chance in hell for a snowball.
Yes. And I started thinking about it. I was like, they don't like it. And I don't think it's personal. They wanted an upgrade. And but you know what? He knows the system and he's a veteran and he's going to be a much lower cost than anybody else. And it's easy to replace, move on from him. And he's got motivation too, because he didn't get a big contract. So what it does is it goes, all right, we've got a guy who's been here, knows the system, can come in. He's going to be, whether or not he's going to be good, I don't know, but he's going to have motivation because he's going to want to get that deal. And guess what? If he plays well, you're not going to retain him anyway. So he's going to leave and you're going to get a comp pick for him.
Oh,
So
we'll get a comp pick for him.
not for anybody
Not,
else.
no, not for anybody else. Fucking
So,
bullshit.
oh, I know. I'm still so mad
Fucking
about that.
piece of fucking bullshit. Tard, stupid turd.
So you're going to have another three-way competition for left tackle. It's going to be Theo Benedict, Braxton Jones, and Jedrick Wills Jr. And guess what? None of them are your long-term answers. Who cares? I think you're just bridging this gap until Ozzy Trapillo is back. I think they really do like Ozzy Trapillo, and I think there's why waste the draft capital? And I've seen a lot of mock drafts where they're like, well, the Bears are going to take a left tackle. Why are they going to spend a first or second round on a left tackle when they put draft capital in a guy? I know Ozzy Trapillo had a bad injury, but it's not career ending. You know, at worst, he's going to miss next season. And you know what? You live with Ozzy Trapillo. I mean, with a Leo Benedette, Braxton Jones, or Jedrick Wills.
I do know though that injury can make a full-time impact on a career. And I know there is fear of that, but hopefully they're confident that it's not going to be the case.
I mean, you know what? If we see them draft a left tackle early, then we know that they're worried about Ozzy Trapillo.
Right, exactly, exactly. I mean, they know more than we do. They have the medicals, we don't. We just know that those types of injuries can be career ending or at least
Um,
career altering.
I mean, he had it several months ago now. So he had the surgery right away. they they're going to know progress by the time that um, the draft comes around. They're going to have a good sense of where his recovery is and if he's on track or not. So I guess we'll find out as we get closer too. You
Right.
feel confident at your left guard spot, Joe Tooney, and you brought back Jordan McFadden, who ended up starting for you in the second playoff game.
Which, hey, he outperformed, I think, a lot of people's
Yeah.
expectations.
And so you brought him back. So you feel I think you feel really confident about your top four guards because Luke Newman is a guy that you drafted last year that you were very high on. Jordan McFadden played really well. Obviously, Joe Tooney you love, and Jonah Jackson, uh, and then Darnell Wright, and then you like him, and then we'll see what we get Garrett Bradbury. And again, I think he's a 1 year stopgap. Totally feel that they are going to draft his replacement.
I do too. I do too. I just think that they needed to get somebody in here who has veteran experience, who's been a center for multiple quarterbacks, who fits the system right for Ben Johnson. You knew that if they were going to go out and get a center, deep down, we knew it was not going to be anything fancy. I mean, Linderbaum was not on the table, not for
That
that
guy got so much money.
$27 million.
That I thought they were going to break the bank with 25. They went 27.
Yeah,
$27 million. That's a lot of money, man.
there's zero chance the Bears were ever entertaining that.
No. And rightfully so. Um, so I expect, and the way this draft is shaping up, I think you'll see opportunity for the Bears to get centers without having to reach much,
Right.
like
I
right in
agree.
the range. But the thing is because you've got them under contract, is you're not obligated to draft their replacement. You could wait and draft the replacement next year. Think you feel better about it if you draft one this year and kind of work them in and then start them next year. But if it doesn't fall that way, it's not the end of the world. You're not painted in a corner.
Right. You have a guy in the room already.
Yeah. Um, you've got your running backs right now, DeAndre Swift, Roshan Johnson, who I don't even think he got a carry last year. Kyle Monungai, Britton Brown, and Deion Hankins.
I
Uh,
forget that Roshan is still technically on the team.
he is. And then your tight ends, Cole Kmet, Colston Loveland, Stephen Carlson, and Nikola Kalanick. So,
Think they bring another veteran tight end somewhere.
I think they like Stephen Carlson. They may bring one in for a camp body. But I think that's who their three are going to be. But so, kind of looking at that offense, I'm center. Center has to be, a mid round, like a mid type need. I think wide receiver, honestly, first 3 rounds, I'm picking a wide receiver.
Yeah, I would do that. I mean, if you don't get him in the first round, a second or third round, I definitely would. You get an opportunity to get one. Because
Um,
listen, I I like the potential of Jade Walker, but I don't think I would trust Jade Walker being anything higher than a 4. And that's the
Yeah.
highest.
And you know what? If he steps up and is awesome, that's a good problem to have.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
If Roma Dunze takes that huge step and becomes the guy that was the number 9 pick, and you see Luther Burden's on that same trajectory, Jade Walker takes a big step, and you spend a second or a third round pick on a guy, all right, you're feeling, and then you've got Colston Loveland, who you love and is going to be a huge weapon. You deal with that all day long.
Right.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, and then Khalif Raymond's the guy you know you're going to be able to rely on being a 4 or 5 wide receiver and a special teams guy.
Yeah. At your cornerback spots, Jalen Johnson's going to be your one starting outside corner, and it's probably going to be, as of right now, a matchup between Terrell Smith and Tyreek Stevenson. Terrell Smith, who I like a lot, he was hurt all year, so he missed all last season.
Mm-hmm.
The two of them competing for that other outside spot, with behind them Dallas Flowers, Cam Lewis, uh, Josh Blackwell, Zoff Frazier. You brought back Jalen Jones, and Zoff Frazier was the guy he drafted last year.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't play at all. Kyler Gordon on the inside. And so you've got guys. I just, I think they're not going to be afraid to draft a corner.
No, and here's the way I look at it is we named all of our depth there, but really the two key guys are Jalen Johnson and your nickel Kyler Gordon. What was the issue last year? They were hurt.
Soft
The
tissue
other,
injuries.
yeah, and that's the other thing too is if Kyler Gordon's healthy, I have confidence he will be a very, very good nickel for the Bears going forward. Will Jalen Johnson ever get back to being 100%? I don't know. He's a little bit older, so to speak, and he's gone through injuries in the past. And maybe a full off season, he's back to being his normal self if he's healthy next year. But we saw Jalen Johnson when he came back from that injury last year. He was not the same.
He was not. He was playing on bad wheels.
Yep.
And it showed.
Yeah. Big time. So I don't know if we're going to ever get that back. I'm not saying we won't, but I don't know if we will.
Yeah. Safety. We brought back Elijah Hicks. So right now, if the season started, your safeties would be Elijah Hicks and Kobe Bryant. I don't love it. I could live with it, but I don't love it. With your backups being Jervarius Owens and Dominique Hampton. I don't love the backups.
I would rather Elijah Hicks be a backup than your second guy.
I would too. But that's where you're at right now. So I think safety kind of becomes one of your higher needs.
It is. The nice thing is, though, is if you do draft a safety and you feel good about him, then you have a brand new safety that you drafted and you have the free agent that you signed in Kobe Bryant. And Kobe Bryant is still only, 26?
Yeah.
So there's some juice left in that tank. And, he's coming over from a Super Bowl winning team. And, I liked Jaquan Brisker. I always felt like he could have been a little bit better. I feel like some of his play in the secondary, you just thought, man, you see talent, but it could be better, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he never fully became the guy we saw in the playoffs. He
played
like
the game of his life against the Rams. Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, if we could have had this guy all the time and healthy, that would have been awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, you saw throughout his career, you saw him do some pretty good things. It's not to say he was bad for the Bears. I just think for where he was drafted and some of the hype that came with him, obviously not like a top 15 pick hype or anything, but I thought that when the Bears got him, I thought, okay, like there is a lot of promise. There were a lot of people that liked Brisker a lot. And I think he gave you some solid stuff. I just don't think he gave you enough to be irreplaceable, near enough to be
He was one of
irreplaceable.
Ryan Pohl's first two picks total.
Yeah, it was Gordon and Brisker. Those were his
Yep.
first picks.
Linebackers. Our starters are TJ Edwards, Devin Bush, DeMarco Jackson. I think you're okay with your starters.
Well, Devin Bush, you add some speed,
Yes.
and you needed it.
And I mean, and then in your backups, you got Ruben Hippolyte, who's fast.
Hungry, hungry Hippolyte.
And then you've got the Sewell brothers as well. So, you know, could they draft a linebacker? Yeah. I mean, that it would be for the future. It would be your replacement for TJ Edwards, because I don't think he's on this team next year.
No, no.
And in fact, honestly, if you drafted somebody high, somebody dropped to you and you were like, oh my God, this guy's awesome. Nothing's saying that he needs to make the team this year.
Right.
But I think you can live with that. Maybe you draft some depth later on. Uh, your edges we went through, and then your defensive tackles, Javon Dexter, Grady Jarrett, Neville Gallimore, and Kentavious Street. You need help there. I think
Yes, yes, you
honestly,
do.
I think defensive tackle is your biggest need. Period. Which honestly lines up with kind of how that late first round is playing out. I mean, in mocks, it's like a defensive tackle is going to fall to you.
I wouldn't
Um,
complain about that.
so honestly, the positions, if you've filled your holes. Like you could start your season. You've got a 53-man roster that's not terrible. I know people aren't thinking it's good as last year, but you you have health and you've got guys that fit the system better. Um, so I think you could put together a good roster here. And just think about how impactful last year's rookie draft class was.
Well,
Monungai and Loveland and Trapillo. Like you had so much impact from rookie class. What's stopping you from doing that again this year?
well, again, I would be more skeptical if this was a year or so ago. But seeing how it played out last year when you have Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen in the room, you feel better about that.
Yeah. So like what I say is though is I like the way Ryan Poles approaches it. He he fills all the holes with somebody that he can live with. So you can go and take the best player available.
Right. Now, I do understand some people's concern about filling it with elite talent because, yes, you do have a roster here, but in order to win in such a competitive division, you want to have more elite talent at a lot of these positions. You need more pass rush, and that could come in many different forms, but I still think it would be helpful to get an edge, like a legitimate edge or somebody on that defensive line that can help create more disruptions against the offensive line and get to the quarterback.
And I still say this though, is uh if you can get teams into more passing downs rather than second and medium or third and short, it's going to help your pass rush. So
Sure, it
you've got to
is.
stop the run. I
Yes,
think first and
don't
foremost,
disagree. Yes.
stop the run. You can manufacture pass rush. If you can stop the run, you know, it's not ideal, but you can start doing things like blitzing corners more often or blitzing your safeties more often or some exotic blitzes. You have to blitz more than you'd love to. You live with that, but stopping the run is the most important. You can find pass rush and you'll run into sacks when it's third and long. It's
Yes, you
when
will.
it's third and four, third and three, it's really hard to get those sacks. And then you're on the field longer. It's bad news. I would I be mad if they drafted an edge? No. But they better come out of this draft with like a legitimate dude that can stop the run.
No, I mean, I totally agree with you. You do need to stop the run. You got to be better at it. And it's a big difference if it's 3rd and 2 versus 3rd and 12. Huge.
Yeah. It's absolutely, you know, difference maker.
I still think though you need more. You need more to get to the quarterback.
I I'm not disagreeing. But it's stop that run first, figure everything else out later. And I don't know how this is going to play out because when I start doing like mock draft simulators and seeing what falls, and you're like, "Oh God, this guy's a pretty good edge rusher." But think about the edge rushers that Dennis Allen likes. They're big guys. They're 265 plus pounds. He doesn't he doesn't go for those 230-pound guys. Like uh he likes he likes big stout edges that can set the edge. So you're like, okay, he's not gonna get this guy that's 6 foot 230. Like that's just not who he's gonna want. So you're like, okay, well, who's available at that point? So that's the that's the harder part is who's available versus who fits the system. So like I'm just running the PFF mock draft simulator right now. And at 25, Emmanuel McNeil Warren out of Toledo, the safety pops up. Like, all right. And uh and then you've get uh Kedrick Falk, the edge out of Auburn. Like that dude, he's not even 21 yet. 6'6", 285. He's a beast. Like, oh man. And then you start looking at who's after that. And a bunch of offensive tackles, some cornerbacks, wide receiver. Caleb Banks, who's a defensive tackle that I like, but he's a big man and he broke his foot at the combine. And he
Mm.
played on he broke that same foot during the season. I can't draft a first round the 350-pound or 330-pound defensive tackle with foot problems.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
So look at the way this falls. You're like, okay, do I grab the safety or do I grab the edge? I'm gonna go edge. I'm gonna go through a quick mock here. I drafted Keldrick Falk, edge out of Auburn. Um, oh come on, why is it just spinning?
Spin, spin,
It
spin.
it is just spinning. Um,
I have to ask, how many mock drafts have you done?
oh, a bajillion. Oh man, are you kidding me here? It's as soon as we're on the show, it's just like, nah, I'm gonna take the night off. I'm done.
That's its way of telling you your mock is going to be wrong.
Oh, they're always wrong. I mean, every year I feel like I get one dude, and I feel proud of myself because out of like 380 eligible players, oh
Yeah, if
man,
you do so many combinations. But yeah, I mean, remember last year I didn't have really Colson Loveland on my radar for the Bears. And he came and ended up being really, really good. I
yeah,
feel like this year, when you look at this year, so much emphasis is going to be on that defense among the fan base, even with the moves they made. And then obviously, you have your concern at left tackle. You have the long-term concern at center, even though there is a temporary solution there. And then obviously like adding another wide receiver. But if you're going to keep DeAndre Swift, I don't think you're going to be drafting any running backs high at least. And, obviously we're not going to be going after a quarterback. We're not going to be drafting a tight end. If they add a tight end, it'll be a veteran dude, like you said, a body in camp. You're set there. So, yeah, I mean, all over the defense, I think the emphasis among a lot of people is on the defensive line, and as they should. What I wonder is looking at the defense, what they have so far. We broke down where we think they need more of where. Is are you going to be able to replace what you lost in terms of the turnovers while fitting the system? Like you're going to get your system guys, and I don't think you're going to have the same number of turnovers that you had last year. But are you going to be able to generate that certain number? I think you can if you do it right. I think that's what people are worried about. But if we're really worried about turnovers, here's a truth. The turnovers might have saved our butt a number of times, but it also means the Bears have to put themselves in better position in games going forward, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Um, so I got the draft to start going. And um, so Caldrick Falk in the first round. We got an edge rusher. Pick number 57 pops up. The top guys in the big board, Ty Simpson. I don't think we're drafting a quarterback in the second round.
You
Uh,
sure?
Chase Besantis, guard out of Texas A&M. I don't think we're going guard. AJ Halsey, safety out of LSU. Keontae Scott, cornerback out of Miami. Jadarian Price, halfback out of Notre Dame. Traden Stukes, cornerback out of Arizona. Bryce Lance, wide receiver out of North Dakota State. Joshua Josephs, edge out of Tennessee. Caleb Tiernan, offensive tackle from Northwestern. Josiah Trotter, Jeremiah Trotter's son, linebacker. Danny Dennis Sutton at edge at Penn State. I think I'm going safety there.
All right.
So then we go to pick 60. All those same dudes are still there. Um, do I go wide receiver this early? Pick 60.
Do you?
I don't love the defensive tackles that are there. How fast is Bryce Lance?
Speed, speed, speed.
Stats.
So if you're going to take a wide receiver there,
Yeah.
what's your outlook? Like, are you saying, hey, that's going to be our new number one, or is
No.
that going to be, hey, here's your two or three? Or can you even determine that? I don't think you can, but I'm just curious how you would look at that.
I think you see how things play out
Yeah.
and who has the best rapport with Caleb Williams. I'm going wide receiver Bryce Lance out of North Dakota State. So now you're at pick 89. Top top guys on the big board. Davison Igbinosun, the cornerback out of Ohio State. Kyle Lewis, linebacker out of Pitt. Sam Roush, tight end out of Stanford. Jalen Farmer, guard out of Kentucky. Dalen Everett, cornerback out of Georgia. LT Overton, edge out of Alabama. Kieran Crawford, edge out of Auburn. Garrett Newsmeyer, quarterback out of LSU. Center Logan James from Iowa. I think I'm going center.
So
That's
that's going to be your long-term guy
Yep.
beyond 2026.
Um, Now I'm at pick 129 and oof. All right. I'm gonna go Tim Keenan, defensive tackle from Alabama. Man. Then I'm gonna go back to back Alabama. Damani Jackson, cornerback out of Alabama. My last pick. I'm gonna go back-to-back years taking a tight end from Michigan, Max Bredesen.
Interesting.
So here's the draft. Keldrick Falk, edge out of Auburn. AJ Halsey, safety out of LSU. Bryce Lance, wide receiver out of North Dakota State. Logan Jones, Iowa center. Tim Keenan III, defensive tackle from Alabama. Damani Jackson, cornerback out of Alabama. And Max Bredesen, tight end out of Michigan.
All right, write it down. For everyone you get right, you get a slice of pizza.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, I mean, you could easily, like, I think we need a long-term center, but does that become a priority? Wide receiver, does it become a priority? Running back. I'd love to get a running back. Um,
Maybe they draft one in the later rounds again.
I mean, I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they drafted one in the first 3 rounds.
You think so?
Uh,
I mean,
Cornerback.
they could. I don't know. I mean, with them, you never know.
Like, honestly, the two positions where I think they just have to draft somebody is safety and defensive tackle.
Yes. Yes.
After that, it's just kind of gravy.
I said earlier I don't expect them to, but you never know. You never know.
So it's just kind of you go into this, and I I would actually be surprised if they pick at 25.
You think they'll trade down?
I think they're going to trade back. I think they might even trade out of the first.
Hmm.
If
I
they
mean,
can,
I wouldn't be shocked. It's
is
what, a 25th? They're
it's a
drafting
25. So you
25,
drop
yeah.
if they drop 8 to 10 spots, I think they're open for business. There's going to be a team, especially if like uh Simpson, the quarterback out of Alabama, falls somewhere. Somebody's going to want to draft a quarterback late in the first, so they get
Sure.
that 5th-year option, and they're going to trade up. Bears are going to be willing to play ball and move back because honestly, unless somebody falls, unless you have one of those situations where somebody just absolutely falls and you went, how does this happen? And then you take that guy, uh, it's going to be the same crop of guys from 20 to 35.
And you might as well get a little more capital, right? I
Yeah.
mean, Ryan Poles has traded back more times than we can count in his career as a GM. It's
So,
nothing new that he hasn't done.
yeah. So it's, I don't know who's in this draft that's in their striking distance that they could trade up for. Like Caleb Downs, the safety out of Ohio State. I'd I'd do awful things to get him. I think he's special.
I do awful things to get Jeremiah Love.
True. Sonny Styles, the linebacker from Ohio State. I would love to have that dude. He's a difference maker. Um, I where is he? I'm looking at this draft. Um,
You're saying you don't want to trade up to get Mendoza to number one.
I don't care about that. Dylan Thieneman, safety out of Oregon. That's the dude I would love to have too. That guy is like greased lightning.
But you're not gonna trade up for, I mean, as good as those guys are,
No,
you're not gonna trade up for them.
Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles are going to be top 15 picks. They're gone.
Yes.
Dylan Thieneman is going to be a guy that's probably going to go 20 to 30. And he's one of those guys, as he starts to fall, you go, do I? Do I? Because, man, if you could add that speed, he's like a faster dude that the white cornerback or the white safety on the Eagles that got the interception in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
He's like a faster version of that dude.
Yeah.
I could add that dude.
So if you were Ryan Poles, Would you say that is if you're gonna wait, and if he's taken before you get to your pick, then you trade it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, unless somebody falls, if it just sort of falls how it is, like, I mean, Jeremiah Love's not falling.
No, no, no.
David Bailey's not falling. Arvell Reese is not falling. Um, Carnell Tate is not falling. Ruben Bain's not falling. Uh, Caleb Downs is not falling. Sonny Styles is not falling. Um, After that, you're like, okay, well, who am I in love with? There's after that, there's probably going to be a run on tackles. So you could see that happening soon. Um, Keldrick Falk could be like who I picked. He could be there. Um, who's the why am I drawing a blank on his name? Um, the defensive tackle from Ohio State. Like he could be the dude. But I just like there's nobody that I'm super excited for at 25 unless somebody falls. You're like, okay, I'm fine moving back. I'm totally fine moving back.
I am too. I mean, if they don't find anything that they like or doesn't fit, then I'm for getting more capital. You get more capital, you get more picks, you get a better bite at the apple. That
Plus,
means
you just get more draft picks. Like,
right, exactly. You get more to choose from, and you get more to add. That's potentially more holes to fill.
yeah. So like I'm like not over the moon by any of these guys. But if somebody falls, I think, "Oh, okay, cool. Like take that big swing. I'm fine taking a big swing. Like even if let's say let's say Caleb Downs falls to like 20 and they move up 5 spots. All right, I'm okay with that. You got yourself a stud. So I'm only trading up if there's for somebody that you think is going to be a stud.
Right. And I think it would be a pretty rare, crazy thing in this draft to do that.
Yeah, I just like there's not a lot of guys that I'm just like must have.
Right. I mean, again, Jeremiah Love would be the most amazing get ever, but that's just out of the realm of possibility.
If that dude somehow the Bears could get him, Ben Johnson would have to go to the hospital for having like a 3-day erection. Like I that guy would he would just be over the moon.
He'd be convulsing.
Got my guy. He would show up to practice with a Jeremiah Love jersey.
He just smashes down the door, yells, "Hell yeah."
Uh,
I
like that.
dare you guys to punch me in the cock. I dare you.
It's just, but there's not a lot of guys. I mean, I'm not saying this is a bad draft by any stretch. It's just there's no there's no super stud that I think is going to fall to you. Or it's going to be if somebody does, it's just not going to be a position that you're excited about. Like I've seen a bunch of mocks where Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end out of Oregon, who's really good, falls to you. It's just that seems like a luxury is drafting your third pass catching tight end.
Right.
Um, the guard out of Penn State. All right, if you told me he fell to 25, I wouldn't be shocked, but I'm not picking him either because you've got Jonah Jackson and Joe Tooney, and then you like your backups too.
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, Jordan Tyson might fall to 25, the wide receiver out of Arizona State. I just don't see him picking a first round wide receiver.
I
Um,
don't either. Again, you never truly know, but I would be a bit surprised.
so it's just like I just don't. I'm not in love with anybody in that 25 range. Like I like Keldrick Falk a lot, and I like Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Um, I just, I think I would prefer trading back.
So tell me this too, because while I never know, and there is a possibility, I just don't have that feeling they're going to take a running back all that high. Are there any running backs maybe in the third round that you're kind of intrigued by?
Um, you know, like I don't know how the thing is I don't know who's gonna go in what rounds. I don't get a crazy sense. Um, so if you're looking at running backs, and I don't even know exactly what they're looking for. Um, so you've got a guy that's gonna go high is Jordan or Jeremiah Love's like backfield mate is Jadarian Price. Um, let's see.
We're not going to
Third,
get Jeremiah Love. We'll get Jeremiah Love at home. We
well, I
have him
mean,
at home.
that's what we did with Roshan Johnson.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
We can't get the guy. Let's get the guy's backup.
Yeah, Roshan. Who I kind of forgot was on the team still.
Um, Mike Washington, the running back out of Arkansas, he's probably gonna go early third. Jonah Coleman, the running back out of Washington, somewhere in the third. Seth McGowan, probably in the third. And after that, it's like Emmett Johnson, probably a fourth. Nicholas Singleton, fourth. Le'Veon Moss, fourth, fifth. Jaden Ott. Like I don't love a lot of these guys. Um, I mean, I don't hate a lot of them either, but I'm not in love with them. Uh, so like when I see a guy in like the third, I'm like, what do I think about that? What do I think?
Now, of course, if they did make a decision, I would not be one to question Ben Johnson at this point.
No, no. I mean, if they did, I'm not knocking it. Um, yeah. So, uh, it's um, like a guy that I kind of like is Mike Washington out of Arkansas. He's he's a big dude. He's 6'1", 223. But you know what he ran? A 4.33.
Hmm.
Like, and he's going to be probably a third round guy. Uh, I'm like he's a guy that I'm not I wouldn't be sad about. So there's a lot of guys that are just like you're like, oh man, something good about him, but then there's like they all have a fatal flaw. Like there's a couple guys that got fumble issues, a couple guys that don't block well, a couple guys that aren't fast. And there's like one fatal flaw they all have.
Now, here's an idea. I'm just going to throw this out there. George McCaskey sues the NFL for not getting them their comp picks. George McCaskey and his lawyers find the right language and loopholes to say that they deserved them, and in compensation settlement in court, the Bears get a few high first round picks and they draft Jeremiah Love. How does that sound?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, how could you not be?
Like, okay, if you shut up, we'll just give you Jeremiah Love.
Jeremiah Love and a new pack of purple crayons. Don't push it.
Fine, I'll use my dull purple crayons.
Or I could take the purple crayons and then Ben Johnson just dives to the window and just like frickin' covers George's mouth. Well, I could just take the purple.
Shut the fuck up with your purple crayons.
You have plenty of them in your desk. Your entire desk is just filled with purple crayons.
The legs of his desks are just giant crayons. He sits in a throne it's made out of crayons.
You know the Iron Throne from Game of Thrones? Well, get ready for the purple crayon throne.
Dear AI, Please make this happen.
Or I could draw a picture of it. I'll give it to you for Christmas.
You know what? That would be much better. Oh,
Fuck
George.
it. For your Christmas, I'm going to send you that as a Christmas gift.
Yes. That's going to get hung in my office.
You
People that
say
don't
that.
listen to this show are like, what? What is going on here? What is happening?
You need to fill your entire office with just our inside jokes. So have like a Marty Havlat crock pot, a purple crayon George McCaskey picture, just a poster of Bills fan puke.
He's like, what does a Marty Havlat crock pot look like? It's just a regular crock pot. It's got a mullet, though. It's got a missing tooth.
It's just so funny because if you try to explain anybody the Marty Havlat crockpot, absolutely zero people with no context would understand it.
I've got coconuts in the office. Uh,
A rotting pumpkin. Where's that from? It's from Gallagher Way.
oh my God. That just like one day there'll just be like an exhibit that that the Harry Carey's downtown.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You know,
the Chicago Sports Museum.
they got the
It's
Chicago
great.
sports movie. It's like they've got a wing with just shit from our show.
The Swerski wing. And here preserved is the very first prototype of the Marty Havlat crockpot.
Uh, so my friend was like, I was like, yeah, I can't believe it's like $10 to get in that. He goes, it costs money. I was like, yeah, unless you have dinner there. He goes, I just walked in and nobody said anything. I was
Oh,
like,
that's funny.
I'm like, oh, there you go. Uh,
I haven't been there in a few years. Because my family and I, sometimes we would take trips with my grandpa there. We would go have lunch at Harry Carey's and then we'd hang out at the Chicago Sports Museum. I need to go back there. I love that place.
I do enjoy Harry Carey's as a restaurant.
Oh, me too. I love Harry Carey's.
Yeah, we usually go to the one in Rosemont though.
Yeah,
Much easier to park.
uh we've had my dad we had my dad's retirement party at that Rosemont location. Sometimes though I'll go to the one by me that's in Lombard.
There's one
It's
in
in
Lombard?
Yeah, in the Westin.
Huh.
The Westin Hotel. It's that and Holy Mackerel are on the first floor. Actually, the day after the Cubs won the World Series in 16, my family and I went there for lunch
Hmm.
to celebrate. So we had lunch there at that Harry Carey's. But yeah, I've been to the Rosemont one a few times. I've been there for my dad's party. And then sometimes my friends and I uh, will go to the golf center in Des Plaines, and then we'll just drive over to the Harry Carey's in Rosemont.
It was a couple years ago. My wife was just like, I need like just time to do some writing and without anybody else in my hair. And I was like, you want me to take our kid and get a hotel? Just take her for like a weekend trip downtown. She's like, yes, please. So we got a hotel like the one that's across the parking lot from uh House of Blues,
Mm-hmm.
and Harry Carey's is right there.
Mm-hmm.
So we checked into the hotel and I was like, you want to grab dinner at Harry Carey's? Yes. And we walked like 20 feet, got there, ate, came back to the hotel room, and she's like, they've got robes. So she put on a robe and they gave you free cookie at the front desk. And she's like, free cookie and a robe and Harry
Hell yeah.
Carey's. She never wanted to leave.
Why would you? You got everything you need right there. There are so many things I love from Harry Carey's. Their lobster bisque, their sausage special pasta, their their scallops, like scallop risotto. That's really good. Have you ever just had their chips, like their bar chips?
No.
Oh, those are so good. They're like the really light like kettle chips, fried kettle chips. They're really, really good. Then there was this one time they had a special. It might have been like a happy hour menu or something, but they had a coffee chocolate shake. And it was like the best milkshake I ever had in my life. It was amazing.
Hmm.
Oh, you know what else they had at that happy hour special? Uh, they had like you got it. You know, like how you have like complimentary chips at a Mexican restaurant.
Yes.
For that, they had popcorn and Cracker Jacks. So
Hmm.
that was kind of cool.
Yeah, we'll get like the toasted ravioli,
Oh, those are good.
garlic bread,
Mm-hmm.
the uh the uh baked mozzarella.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Their fried calamari's good too.
I'm vegetarian, so I don't eat that. We'll get the sides. So we'll get the Brussels sprouts.
Oh,
Uh,
those are good. Yeah.
yeah, the garlic mashed potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the corn brulee. It's a man. I want to go.
Oh, I know. You're making me hungry for Harry Caray's, man. Now, I'm a meat eater, so I love their New York strip as well. But I mean, some of the vegetarian options you mentioned, their Brussels sprouts are really freaking good.
Yeah, I usually get the same like meal every time. I get the rigatoni with the vodka sauce.
Mmm, yum.
Like the fettuccine Alfredo is really good, but it's
Hmm.
so rich that I'm like I can't. I'll have to roll out of here. So
Yeah, no, that is true. That sits in your stomach like a boulder.
yeah, so I'm like I should go with the rigatoni with the vodka sauce, and then we'll get some sides to share.
Honestly, like sometimes I want to go to Harry Caray's just for the appetizers and the sides.
You should. Nothing's stopping you. You're an adult now.
Now, like I just became one. I wish. But yeah, no, I could eat any of that stuff. And then I'm a big old fashioned guy. They have a really good old fashioned there. I enjoy that very much.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll have to meet up at Harry Caray's sometime.
Oh yes, Harry Carey's.
We'll meet up at the Rosemont one. I like that location.
Yeah, it's they got parking. It's easy to park.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, for me, I just go to Manheim and take Manheim and I'm right there. It's very easy to get to.
But yeah, going back to the Bears, you know, safety and defensive tackle, I think are still priorities. You gotta solve. But everything else kind of is gravy. You probably want a center so you don't have to get painted in a corner next year. A wide receiver would be nice. You could use an edge rusher, but you can, for the most part, you can just let this play out how it's going to go.
Yep. I mean, like you said, a lot can happen in this draft, and
I
I
mean, if
am
if
going
you
to,
get two impact guys from this draft, that your team is that much better.
yeah. I just think that, I understand that there's a lot of emphasis on this draft and how to fix things, and I get some fans' concerns, especially considering how good this division is. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, you look at the rest of the NFC North, and I do think the Lions are going to rebound. I think they're too
They're going to
talented of
get
a
better.
team.
The Lions are going to get better by being healthy.
Yes.
I think the Vikings got better because they got quarterback competition. I
Which,
don't I don't think the Packers got better.
no, no, and they're not going to have a first round pick. But the thing with the Vikings is Kyler Murray doesn't really fit what they do. But if there is someone to help mold and shape and rehabilitate a guy like that, it is Kevin O'Connell. And that is a contending roster. I mean, if they get better quarterback play last year, they might have won the division.
Yeah. I just thought it was funny that on The Athletic there was an article about before it even happened. They were like, "Oh, the Vikings are going to get this guy and KOC is like the best quarterback whisperer and he's going to turn it around for this guy." And I was like, and it was just like waxing about this guy, and I just commented on it. I was like, why didn't he do that with JJ McCarthy then if he's so good?
Well,
Like there's only so much you can do.
I just wonder if a way you could look at it is McCarthy was drafted by them, and it was his first year playing where Kyler Murray's a veteran. Sam Darnold was a veteran. Obviously, Kirk Cousins was a veteran and a successful veteran. Daniel Jones, who they had for a little while, was a veteran. He's worked the magic with the vet guys. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be a really tough division, but and you've got to come back and perform. But I think the offense, I don't think is going to take a step backwards.
Well, I mean, it'll take a step forward if Caleb takes a step forward.
And I think the defense is going to be a lot better than it was last year.
Well,
Just by putting players in there that are fit this system better.
I mean, it was such a weird thing with the defense because they had more turnovers than anybody. It was wild how many turnovers they had. But if they weren't getting turnovers, for the most part, they were getting gashed in and beaten and cooked and a lot of other things you could describe a struggling defense to be. And like I said earlier, you know that the turnover rate is probably not going to sustain itself. But if you are a consistently better defense, if you're not getting turnovers, but you're getting stops and you're not allowing huge chunks of yards at a time,
Yes.
that is where you want to be better at.
So they were 29th in total defense of yards allowed,
Yeah.
29th out of 32 teams. They were 32nd in scoring defense, 25th in yards allowed in the air, 26th in yards allowed on the ground. That's that's a lot of room to get better.
Yes.
You
Yes.
you were very close to making the NFC Championship. You were one play away from making the NFC Championship with the arguably the worst defense in football. So if you get that up to an average, somewhere in the middle, 18, 19, 15, this this suddenly becomes a really hard team to beat.
Yeah. I mean, again, so many of those drives ended in crazy turnovers. But how many times before the turnover did it look like the opponent was going to score?
I mean, look at the first real big one, that Cowboys game. They were just
Yes.
marching down the field until Tyreek Stevenson ripped the ball out of that guy's hands.
That play turned the whole damn season around.
Yeah, like that. They were marching down the field. I was like, all right, the season's done. I was done with the entire season on that drive until that happened.
They were bowling them over with ease. And then when they got that turnover, I mean, the momentum flipped and the Bears scored a shit ton, and that was able to keep them, in the game to start and then take over the game completely. And then they got all those turnovers because the Cowboys were desperately trying to keep up as the Bears scored more and more and more. But they weren't just like finding places where nobody was. Like they were literally just running over the Bears defenders.
Yeah.
They didn't have the size, they didn't have the speed. And we're talking about the NFC or the NFC North here and talking about speed. I said this on Twitter the other day. You have a division where you have to face Christian Watson and Justin Jefferson and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and you can point to a number of instances last year, particularly the first game against the Packers in Green Bay. I mean, remember when they were just killing us with those slants
Yeah.
to Christian Watson? You couldn't play man to man because you couldn't keep up with them. And you couldn't play zone because you couldn't get pressure on Jordan Love. So Love was able to stand the pocket and then just throw to a guy that had an open cushion to get 10, 15 yards.
Yep. It's there's a ton of opportunity to get better. Um, let's see, total defense.
It'll go
Yeah.
down as one of the weirdest defenses in Bears history.
Oh yeah. So let's see, total defense. Bears on ESPN. The Bears gave up 361.8 yards a game. That was only Dallas, Cincinnati, and Washington were worse on the ground. Um, oh, sorry, it's passing on the ground. The Bears gave up 134 and a half yards a game. So Buffalo, the Jets, Washington, Giants, and Cincinnati were worse. But the the best was Jacksonville. They gave up 85 yards a game on the ground. 85.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if the Bears gave up 85, that would be ridiculous. And then passing. Um, Buffalo was the best. Bears are one of the worst. Just offense. Let's see. Passing yards or total yards. Let's go total yards a game. Um, Bears are right at the top. 300, almost 70 yards a game on offense. Third in rushing. So, yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of opportunity. A lot of opportunity.
For sure.
All right, where do you want to go from here?
We have some potential really bad baseball news.
Seiya Suzuki?
Yep. By the time you're listening to the show, you're probably going to get the official announcement, but right now we are waiting on the MRI results, and he showed up back at Cubs camp in a brace and hobbling. I think there is a better chance of the sun exploding tomorrow than him being at least ready for opening day. I think it's going to be a matter of when is he coming back, not if.
It's it sucks. I I was worried about something. Um I was worried and the worry came true. Maybe I was just being a bad worry ward, but it's uh it's this one's gonna hurt.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like, if he's out 6 to 8 weeks, little over a month, not ideal, but it could be a hell lot worse. Worst case scenario, he's out for the year. And I don't know if you got a good deep team, but I think that makes a pretty big impact if he's not part of the equation.
Yeah, Craig Counsell's not speculating.
You could read that either way.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to tell you anything is going to be the MRI.
I mean, I think if it was the worst case, the like a torn ACL, they would have done an MRI at the WBC and we would have already known.
Potentially, but don't they have to wait for swelling to go down?
Um, no, I mean, we always know right away from the NFL players.
That's fair.
We know right away. Like they know before the game's over that they fear it.
Right.
Um, so that gives me some hope that it's not worst case scenario. And the fact that he's just in a brace and he's walking around even though he's hobbling, um, we'll
Please keep talking like this and make me feel better, please.
if it was a torn ACL, he would not be at camp. He would not be in a brace hobbling around.
No, you're right. You're right.
Um, could it be a sprain? Maybe. Uh,
Or a bad bone bruise.
it could be a bad bone bruise. It could be. Um,
Because he didn't twist it on that stealing play. It looked like he banged it when he was going over the bag.
and if that's the case, then he might be back opening day.
I'm not counting on it.
I'm not either because it's Seiya Suzuki. He's frail.
Well, I
Um,
mean, just the fact that opening day's 10 days away, he's in a brace, hobbling around. Yeah, I'm not a doctor. I don't know, but yeah,
but
we'll see. We'll see.
but I don't think he's flying back from the WBC if it was a torn ACL. I just
Yeah,
he
I'm
would
I'm not necessarily saying torn ACL, but
or torn MCL or any torn ligaments. Uh, it might be a sprain.
right, but a sprain can still be pretty serious.
Um,
Because a sprain is a partial tear. So I don't know. I don't know. It sucks either way, but let's hope it's best case scenario.
yeah. But I mean, you know, I'm gonna guess you're gonna see a 2 to 4 week.
That that would be ideal. That would be very ideal.
Ideal would be psych. I'm all good.
Well, yeah, I don't know if that's realistic.
Yeah, but we'll see. Uh, but WBC surprise. Japan lost.
Yeah, pretty epic win by Venezuela. And it was really cool to see Danny Palencia get the final three outs.
Um, yeah,
Great
like I
game.
I I was shocked.
A lot of people were. A lot of people were.
I was absolutely shocked. I assumed that this was Japan's to win. And, Otani, his numbers came back down to earth. His OPS was only 1842.
What a scrub.
I know, right?
What a scrub.
But I mean, the bigger shock than that is Team Italy.
Yeah. Although one kind of bummer there obviously is the Kyle Teal injury for the White Sox. But they're up 2-1 right now. And I don't mind either team winning, but Italy would be kind of a fun story.
I mean, it's I was kind of rooting for the Dominican Republic versus Italy. Thought that would have been really fun. But you know what? Dominican Republic got beat fair and square. They got Paul Skeened.
Well, some would point at that last strike three call and say not so much. But you know what? Dominican Republic, how many chances did they have to score in that game?
They didn't score. But man, is Paul Skeens good.
He's good. And you see that throw that Aaron Judge made?
Yep.
That was huge. Huge, huge, huge. And I know PCA didn't have a great game in that one, like hitting wise, but he looked good in center field and he had been hitting the ball the last few games. He had the 2 home run game the other night, which was exciting. Then he had a 2 for 3 game. Was that against Canada on Friday night? So it
I
was
mean,
cool seeing him be part of the
yeah, I
action.
mean his OPS is almost 1100 in this year in uh this tournament.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, seeing him be part of it, although it's weird when Mark DeRosa moves him to left.
Why? Why do you move the best defensive center outfielder you have to a non-premium spot.
Got to get this guy in, got to get that guy in. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But Mark DeRosa is obviously under a lot of fire because the whole, oh, I thought we clinched already thing. Whoops, I misspoke. Now, if they win tomorrow, then I think it's going to be largely forgotten. But if they don't, that's even though they advanced further than when he said that, it's going to be a stain on his tenure as the USA manager.
Oh yeah. I mean, people are beating him up on verbally.
Yeah, nonstop.
Uh, but Antonacci, White Sox star, future star, and star of Team Italy,
He's
been
their leadoff
playing
guy.
been playing really well, and that dude is a high baseball IQ dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like that guy has been really big and come up really clutch for that team. And um, the bat's been all right, 833 OPS, a lot of heads up baseball plays. Uh just that that is that is huge for the White Sox looking to the future.
Yeah. No, I mean their prospect pool is looking stacked.
I know you're starting to look and you're like, okay, all right, all right, White Sox, maybe your GM might know what he's doing.
Well, at the very least, they've collected a lot of talent, and I do think sooner than later they are going to be good again. I think they're going to build up obviously this year, and then depending next year on what happens with baseball itself, next year they could be looking to be legit competitive.
When they have a floor and they have to spend $100 million
Yeah,
in one
force
off
Jerry,
season,
you must spend money.
that'll be what puts Jerry over the edge. Like the league says the White Sox are required to spend $100 million this year in the off season for this 1 year. They're like, oh, Jerry's dead.
I'm gonna sell my share now.
I've made the decision. Marriage. I've made my decision to get rid of the team. It is just time. The universe spoke to me. Was it because you had to spend $100 million? The universe spoke to me.
I don't know what that was, but that was awesome. That was amazing.
Uh,
But like I said, it does suck about Kyle Teal, but that wasn't worst case scenario. It was just kind of annoying.
no, it's yeah. Just I mean, he was playing really well. Um,
Yeah,
and
him and Antonacci were both playing well really early on, especially.
yeah, it would have been huge for them to go and to win this tournament, bring that momentum back to the South Side.
Yep. Boy, man. Yeah. I love watching this. I got it on the TV, the WBC. They keep cutting to Miguel Cabrera in the Venezuela dugout, and that dude is just fired up. I love it.
Is he still fat?
Yeah, but he has every right to be.
Love it. I
And
love it.
he's been giving it to the umpires too.
Oh yeah.
Which
I
could you
love it.
imagine if that was Venezuela last night on that strike three call that
Oh,
Mason
I
Miller
know.
got?
Mm, yeah,
Well,
but I was kind of rooting for the Dominican Republic. I thought that team was just so stacked.
I mean, I'm rooting for US first, but I wouldn't have been mad if they won. Um, it kind of sucks that it had to end on such a controversial call, but I do think next WBC there will be ABS in it,
Oh, I'm sure.
especially after that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I am sure. Um, let's see what else. Not a ton of baseball.
There
Um,
will be soon.
there will be soon. Um, but the Blackhawks signed one of their draft picks,
Yep, so
Sasha Boisvert.
we'll get our first look at him.
I'm kind of excited.
I am too. I mean, whenever you get a chance to see one of your higher picks, it's an exciting time.
Um, it's I just love the fact that he got suspended from college hockey for fighting.
How dare you?
I mean,
How dare you fight?
he grew up his dad owns a boxing gym. He grew up boxing. So he's he's going to be a scrapper. He's a big boy too. And guess what? By the time you listen to this show, it'll probably be on his 20th birthday. Tomorrow is his 20th birthday.
Hey, good for him. Happy birthday. Welcome to the NHL.
Welcome to the NHL and burn that contract, that year of the contract quick. Um, I'm, I know there was a bad omen with trying to get him here from Boston with flight delays and stuff, but I'm kind of excited to see what he can do.
Well, he'll get his chance, and I mean it'll be kind of a low pressure situation. The team isn't playing for anything,
Nope.
so you'll get a chance to just kind of get your feet wet a little bit, and hopefully build some chemistry with Bedard and Nazar and all the guys on the team. Bedard has been quite feisty lately. You
Oh,
s-
I know,
you
but
see him mouthing off at the fans in Utah. It was great after the game-winning goal.
he's so good. Like anybody that knocks him doesn't think like you're not watching hockey. He's he's so good.
But look at all the other players in the league and all the basically. It's like you realize he would be way up there had he not missed a month plus being hurt.
Yeah, I know. But just watching him play, imagine if he had any bit of talent around him. Imagine if he got to play on Team Canada around all that talent.
Oh yeah, I know. I
Uh,
know. That would have been sick.
yeah. But
Next time.
next time, you just got so many young players. It just you need some of them to step up and just be like legit players around him.
I think Nazar has been playing better recently, so that's nice to see. At least he's been more productive.
Maybe Boisvert comes in and plays well. I mean, who knows? Maybe they put him on a top line.
Yeah, I don't expect him to light up a score sheet by any means, but at least if you can see him do the small things well, you see him handle the puck, solid passing, make plays,
And punch
smart
somebody in the
attempts.
face.
That, yeah, sure, that too. You can do that.
Like
So
you don't get suspended for fighting here. You say less.
go ahead and kick somebody's ass.
He goes in the locker room after a loss and flips over the crock pot.
If
That's
that thing
that's
just
that's what he says whenever he's in the penalty box and like the referee skates by. He's like,
I would love it if there was a Marty Havlat crockpot in the Blackhawks locker room, and when somebody at first doesn't really notice it or realize it, but then when they go by and look at it and they see like a mullet Havlat face crockpot that starts suddenly going, blah, 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 they're just like, "What the hell?"
oh, the Havlat crock pot.
He pushes it over and just chili goes flying everywhere, like Kevin.
You know, they made an action figure of that, and I've got it in my office.
I need to get one of those.
It's so good. And it comes with a sticker of like it looks like like a stickman drawing of somebody spilling the chili.
I have a it's like a pin of Kevin holding a chili pot, like like one of those small pins that you could like put on a lapel or something.
Yeah.
What an iconic scene.
Did you by chance go to the office experience when it was downtown?
Yes.
The being able to take the photo op with the spilled chili
Yes.
might have been like the best thing I did that year.
Yes, yes. I spend the whole night chopping raw onions and dicing whole tomatoes. Everyone comes together in the pot.
It's the best thing. It's the thing I'm best at in the whole world.
As he's flailing around in the chili.
Uh, I like he's just got the clipboard. He's trying to scoop it back into the pot. Ah, that really was one of the best scenes in television ever.
It was. It was. I do wish, though, that later in the show we would have gotten a chance for everybody to eat Kevin's famous chili.
I wish there was a scene that they were eating the chili and somebody's just picking like stuff out of their teeth because it was peeled on the ground.
This is a paper clip? Is this a piece of paper?
Uh, or if they would have just never talked about it again and there was just a stain in the carpet.
Yeah, that's the thing. You never like really see a stain on the carpet.
Oh, that would have been amazing. Just the rest of the series. There was a stain in the carpet that nobody ever talks about.
Like, how'd that get there? They pan over to Kevin. He just gives you that like Kevin face.
Oh, Kevin. The Office is so good.
I can rewatch it over and over.
Oh, I know. Like I literally could have it end and then start it over.
Yes.
Have you watched the spinoff?
I've only seen clips of it.
It it gets like the first couple season or the first couple episodes, you're like, meh, but then it starts hitting its groove and it's pretty good. It's not The Office.
No,
It's a lot
obvious.
different,
Yeah.
but it's pretty good. It's finding its groove.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what is really good was really good. Started right off strong. The new Scrubs.
Was it good?
Yes.
Okay. Good to know.
It just comes right in, doesn't miss a beat, and it's definitely Scrubs.
Okay. That's good to know.
Even though Dr. Cox is only in one episode.
Hmm. I didn't know that. It kind of snuck up on me. I'm like, oh yeah, Scrubs is back.
Yeah, I totally forgot about it, and uh, and then I was like, oh man, here we go.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out sometime.
Yeah, it's good.
Good to
They've
know.
got 4 episodes in so far.
Okay.
Um, and so far the janitor's not in it.
I bet he'll make an appearance, right?
I would assume they've got a different janitor.
I think he'll
Um,
make an appearance.
yeah, but yeah, JD gets along with the new janitor.
No, that's good.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, it's definitely worth watching. I thoroughly enjoy it. I liked Scrubs.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it was a solid show.
yeah, I mean it's not The Office, but nothing else is.
Yeah, it's one of a kind.
Even though the last couple seasons were brutal.
Yeah, without after Michael left, it just wasn't the same.
I can't believe that they just didn't pay him.
I know. It's like, dude, like that he was one of the main reasons your show was so successful.
Like I mean, honestly, is even at that show's peak, like it. I think it's gotten so much more popular since the show went off the air.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
That's one of those shows that like if they could go back, they'd have been like, oh yeah, we would just back up the Brinks truck to Steve Carell.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. They're probably looking at that like, man, what the hell were we thinking?
I know they should do they should just do like a reunion special somewhere for like Peacock.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens one day.
I mean, it would just make a boatload of cash.
Yeah, absolutely. There would be ratings galore.
A prequel, Jim's first day.
They'd have to de-age them quite a bit.
Oh yeah, they would.
It would take place in like 2004.
Uh, So, have you looked at Tankathon lately?
No,
It's,
can't say that I
the
have.
the Bulls stink, right? We can agree with
Right.
that.
Yep.
They have not moved at odds in the standings at all. They're still the ninth seed, or like the ninth worst team.
They're beating the brakes off the Grizzlies right now.
So they they can't lose. They can't be good at losing.
They can't be good at anything.
So they're really going to wind up with as the ninth worst record. They might get like the number 10 overall pick.
That's the last place you want
Yeah.
to
Well,
be.
I'm gonna press sim lottery one time. Ninth. They are drafting
Yep.
ninth in a
Yep.
5-person draft.
Yep. That sounds right.
And while we're at it, I'm gonna do one NHL one.
I laughed so hard if the Hawks won the lottery.
Blackhawks 2.
Okay, that's pretty good.
I mean, right now that's one pick up, and Florida gets 10th, so they keep their pick.
Hey, that's still better than the Bulls.
That's true. Oh, I pressed one more. Blackhawks number 1 pick, Florida 11, which then gets the Blackhawks.
And you'll be pressing the Bulls one forever and ever. 9, 10, 9, 10,
Number
9,
9,
10.
number 9, number 9, number 9. Just keep playing number 9. Uh,
What a joke. What a mess.
God, I don't even want to talk about the Bulls.
I don't either.
The team is so stupid.
They are.
Was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Nope, I've said my piece.
I think that's going to do it for this episode of Bill Swerski Sports Talk Chicago. I want to thank everybody so much for listening. Please subscribe however you listen to podcasts, whether it's iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Google Play, Spotify, etc. Share this podcast with your friends, help grow the show. Follow us on social media at Swerski Sports, Facebook.com/Swerski Sports, Swerski.com or Swerski_sports_podcast on Instagram, or ShyFanPat2 for Alex on Twitter /X, or AlexanderJPatCreative.com for all the cool stuff. And again, thank you all so much for listening. And until next time, bear down.
Cubs win! What a lucky break! The good Lord wants the Cubs to win!
We thank Ditka and God for all they have provided.
Cubs win! Cubs win! Cubs win!
Oh, I don't want her. You can have her. She's a Packer fan. She can't fit in my van.
And she looks like Remember, New Yorkers, smoking crack is not legal on the plains.
Bears 31 to -7.
The Bears.
Oh, when the Bears go bearing down